Hey folks, welcome back. It's the Big Barn build. We are commencing. I've picked a particularly soggy day for this. I've cleared that corner, which means that at least I've got space to put several dumper loads of concrete blocks. I'll scrape out the corner just to make sure that it's just concrete below. We're not putting a load of rubbish under those, but wood chip and stuff in the corner. Now my issue is this big top leaf that swings open is really weak and wobbly, and I've bolted it shut temporarily, so I can't really use the middle one, which means we need to free up either this 8-foot door or that one. What's the easiest to move? Probably this side, because I can move this mower with the forks. The rest of this is pretty much rubbish. Moves everything. We can bring the dumper in now. I'll move this truck so we can just load in nice and simply, and we can dump it all out there, just like that. So first up, let's give you a bit of background. This is a 50-year-old steel portal frame building and used to be part of a dairy farm. So our farm is an ex-dairy farm. We don't have the full amount of land that this would have once supported, hence why this is actually a redundant building in terms of in relation to how much land we've got. There's no way we could justify, unless you were just going to intensively house and buy in all your feed. So what we've got is, well, they've reduced the number of these barriers, so every other one is missing, which means less to take out, but there's still a good 40 of the cubicle sort of barriers in where the cows would have laid up. So these raised sections are where the cows would sleep, bedded up. So they are full of gravel and sand, whereas everything else is concrete. In addition to that, we've got concrete with a fall, because of course the slurry and muck and everything that would sit on this slab was scraped out with the tractor each day and would go out that end to the tanks or into spreaders and stuff like that. So for that reason, we've kind of got a big slab in the middle and then these strips down the side. Now unfortunately, because of the fall, it would make working on top of these slabs a little bit, well, ineffective, because we'd have to probably pour 150 mil slab of concrete on top of this, which would be a tapering slab, just to level it before we could actually insulate and screed, which is 50, 60 cubic meters at least of concrete. Anyway, we've done the sums, and it makes more sense to just tear up the areas of concrete that are here, crush them on site, and then start from scratch. It'd be more like a conventional build-up. So I'll use this side as an example because this is how it started. This bit of bedding from when we lambed can come off and go on the muck heap. Then we're down to that sandy, gravelly stuff. These are concreted in and bolted to the wall. The bolts are absolutely seized, rusted shut. So I'm going to break the concrete blocks around them. They're just 3 bolts. And then this one is just sat in the gravel. This one is concreted into this curb section. Now, the reason I know that is because I've had a little play on the other side, and I'll show you that now. You know, impatience got the better of me. So that's what we've got to get done. And like I said, the concrete slab that's here, while it is a shame to break it out, because structurally it's great, but because of that slope, like I said, we'd have to build that end up because it's so much lower, and we'd end up probably having to bring the whole floor level up 450 mil, maybe even more. So it'd be quite a step up into the building, and it's just unnecessary, and we'd probably end up with ceiling height problems anyway. So this is what it looks like after. So as you can see, I've broken out the internal wall. So these are they just sat on the slab. They're not structural. In some respects, they are more like dividing walls. They're for stock rather than structure. And you can see what we've uncovered. So we've uncovered the slab and the edge of the slab. So we're about, I'd say 125, 150. It kind of varies a bit. And of course, you never want to trust the edge of a slab because it's always going to appear thicker up against shuttering. So we'll do some test holes. What am I on about? We don't need to do test holes anymore. We'll just get rid of it. So we've got a pecker on the digger. It's probably going to be a tedious, noisy task, but breaking this out, I'm going to pile it up in the yard, and then I've got a guy coming to crush on site. Interestingly, what I've dug out of these cubicles is exactly that. It's type 1. It's a nice local stone. It's not mixed in with rubble and rubbish. It is pretty much type 1. It's 40 mil to dust. This is ideal, and I've dug out, there's probably about 5 or 6 times as much as this, so tens of tons of the stuff. Yes, we don't have to buy in anything at the moment. So that's the result, and of course that is exactly the same down the external walls, same barriers, same deal with the infill with all the stone. Get that out, and then we can look at the external walls in a good few weeks' time. Right, let's crack on. Yeah, dig. Oh, tell the kids have been playing with my radio. Radio 1, How to Feel Old. To be fair, they're mixing songs that I recognise. Maybe retro is back. Half term. Who'd have it? We also had an 11-year-old sleepover last night, which they got 1 hour's sleep apparently. It is cool though. This is a radio that Joe bought me for Christmas. You can get smaller ones. I nearly got the Makita one, but because I only use Bosch batteries for most of my tools, I thought I'd use some of my older, smaller batteries in this, and they last all day anyway. Loving this one, by the way. I know you don't really get to pick what model you hire, but this Sani is lovely. It's really comfortable in there. It's powerful. The only thing I would say is the power to the tracks doesn't seem as much as the last one. So if you're going up a slope or trying to turn in a tight area, even on full revs, it doesn't quite put enough power there. But the actual arm, you know, the digging part of it is so strong. It's so strong, in fact, that I'm trying not to use it too much on these walls. The reason for that is that all these walls are pocketed into the steels. So if you just try and push the middle, we could end up twisting these steels, and these are the ones that need to be kept. Right, let's move this ladder. It won't take much to bend that. Right, bit of an interlude to sort some foot rotting goats out, as you do, and a plate full of crumpets. Crumpets came first, fortunately. We're going to start on this wall now. I am going to start on this wall. I do need to rake out some of that hay and straw the other side, but what I'm trying to do is pull the walls in onto the slab. It's far easier for me to scoop and clear up everything afterwards if I've got that solid base, whereas if everything is just fallen in and it's all mixed in with the stone, it's a bit harder. So blocks this way, then I'll go around, sort of stone out afterwards. I have worked out where I want to put the stone, but it's down in the bottom field. I'm not sure I really want to be trundling up and down on a wet day with the dumper and just chew the thing up. So what I'm going to do is start on these walls, and as I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to just, as tempting as it is, to just get the bucket and try and yank them. They're tucked in there and the other side, so actually it's pretty strong in its current state. And what I really need to do is just go down the middle like I did before and knock out a few in the centre, and then it's a bit easier. It has not stopped raining all day, so I'm really showing you what's going on out there, but I can assure you over there somewhere, there's an awful lot of concrete over there ready for crushing. So I really want to do it all in one. depending on how much he charges. He's fairly local anyway. Now I'm onto that type 1, which is all that stone underneath. So I'm trying to keep that separate, but not too fussed. It's still going to be used as a sub base, but some areas it will be used visibly in gateways out in the fields. But it seems pretty clean. A little bit of organic material, i.e. cow muck in there. But the plan is I've got 15 minutes left of my working day. I'm going to drag it all out onto the slab. So tomorrow I can just go alongside with the dumper, load it in. There's probably 3 dumpers loads to get this strip done. And then I'll have to do the same over that side where I've pulled it out. And then I guess we'll need to swap out the bucket for the pecker and have a go at these curbs, because what it is you've got the actual curb section here, which I assume is reinforced, and therefore we won't be crushing those. But that first bit, and then it's been haunched with the same amount of concrete again on the back side. That's why they're so chunky. I thought they were one big curb section, but there is a curb like that, and then all of this is cast in. So I don't know if I can get a pecker in between and break it down, but I'll leave you with a time lapse of me just finishing off this strip, and then we'll call it a day. We've finally broken ground. It feels like we're making progress. I know we're taking stuff away before we're putting it back, but it's still progress. And hopefully we'll maybe be able to make a decision on the slab with the architect, and we can start either working out if we're going to keep it or break it out. And if we're breaking it out, I kind of think we'll end up with this just big blank canvas. We can dig in all our trenches for services, drainage, any new footings for internal supporting load bearing areas. And feels like we're not, there's always a danger when you're trying to use something that's existing. Although this is a very good slab, there's no cracks and it's really solid, you start compromising. And if I can start nice, level, flat, and build how I would want to build from scratch, I think that's a better way to go. There we go. I hope you've enjoyed day 1 of the big barn build. That seems to have been what it's been christened on Instagram, so it might just have to be. And we will see how we get on tomorrow. Thanks for watching. Remember, if you can, do it yourself, and we'll see you next time.